Hello everyone, welcome back to the Linux Crash course. In this video we will learn how to use command, remove command, how to safely remove files and folders using the rm command. But before we will start, don't forget subscribe to my channel, hit notification bell so you don't miss anything. First, let's create some directories in files. To create directory, use mkdir test directory. This will create test dir directory. If we want to create nested directory, we can use mkdir -p, for example, projects, Linux, and scripts. So let's check cd projects, ls, cd Linux, ls, and cd script, cd. Let's go back to home directory. Now we need to create some files using touch command, touch testdir. We will create file int testdir directory, example.txt. Let's add some content to that file, for example, hello world, to test dir and example txt. Also, we can create a write protected file. So why we need it? Linux will ask for confirmation before deleting it. So let's create file touch protected.txt. How we can convert this file to protected? By using chmod command, change modification. Change modification, let's delete write permission from protected file. How you can check ls-l ls-l protected. You see the result from this file permission, write permission was deleted. So this file no longer has write permission. The run command is used to remove files and directories from the Linux system. It is powerful, fast, and must be used carefully. So the basic syntax: rm, some options, and file or directory. Yes, let's create another file, touch example txt. Let's clear the screen. ls example. Let's removing this file, rm example. Let's execute ls command again, and we see no such file or directory. So we removed that file. The file is deleted immediately if permissions allow it. So when deleting protected file, Linux will ask for confirmation. rm protected. rm remove write protected regular empty file. Type y to yes and press enter to confirm. ls protected txt. No such file exists or in this directory or directories exist with this name. Let's create again protected file, touch protect txt, change modification -w protect. To remove files without confirmation, you can use rm -f protect. So ls protect, paste it. No such file or directory. rm -f bypass safety checks. You need to use this option carefully. This option. Let's create again file protect. So to delete file in verbose mode, you should add to rm -wv protect. Protect. So it will display in the screen removed file. Okay, now let's go to inside test directory, create some files, for example, test from 1 to 5.txt ls, and we notice our newly created files. Okay, we don't need go back. Now we want to remove multiple files. How we can do that? You can do running this command rm test 1, test 2, test 3, like this. Sequentially indicate files names, or you can use wildcard. For example, we want to delete all files by txt extension. How we can do that? Let's clear the screen, ls. We can do it by globbing. So rm asterisk dot txt ls, and we notice all txt extensions files are deleted. Let's create here some directory mkdir test ls. How we can delete directory? We can delete it by rm -d, for example, test. But this will work only the empty directory. So first let's check test. We see that our test directory is empty. Let's go back and type rm -d test ls. So directory deleted. Let's create again test. Go inside test and create some file. Touch file from 1 to 10 ls. Files created. Let's go back and let's delete our directory again. We notice some syntax, some error output on the screen. Rm cannot remove test directory. Directory not empty. So how we can delete directory with content? You can use rm -r and test. Now let's check. So no directory. So there is no test directory. Directory with its content deleted from our machine. Let's create some files. So if you want prompt before deleting, how we can do that? How rm -a, for example, file 1. Now we need confirmation. Remove regular empty file. Yes. ls test 0. So ls -d test 0. To delete everything without warning, we can use rm -rf test 0. But this is very dangerous command. You can use rm -rf only when you are absolutely sure that you want to delete that file or directory, and you know what is inside. This file can block your system, so never use this if you aren't absolutely sure. rm -rf, so ls, and we notice test directory with all its content deleted. We can rm, for example, test. So you cannot remove test. It is directory. So by default, RMs can delete only files, not directory. But rm -rf, it can delete it. ls. Let's check. No directory with test name. So that's all for this lesson. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, hit notification bell. See you in the next video.